What if I told you that the most stubborn fat on your body, the fat that refuses to go away no matter how much you diet or exercise, is not actually caused by eating too much or being lazy, but by stress? And what if I told you that in the next 30 days, if you follow what I'm about to share, your body can begin eliminating visceral fat so effectively that your waistline, energy levels, sleep, and hormones all start changing at the same time? Stay with me because this is not another generic weight loss video. This is about fixing the real reason your body is holding on to fat, even when you're trying your best. Visceral fat is not the fat you can pinch with your fingers. That's subcutaneous fat. Visceral fat is deeper. It wraps itself around your liver, your pancreas, your intestines, even your heart. And that's what makes it dangerous. It disrupts hormones, increases inflammation, raises blood sugar, and silently keeps cortisol high all day long. And here's the part most people never tell you. As long as cortisol stays elevated, your body will actively resist fat loss. You can eat less, you can work out harder, you can do cardio every single day, and your body will still refuse to let go of that belly fat because it sees stress as a survival threat. That's why some people eat more than you and stay lean. That's why some people barely exercise and still don't store belly fat. Their cortisol is under control, their nervous system is calm, their metabolism feels safe, and that's exactly what we're going to fix over the next 30 days. Now, before you panic, let me be very clear. This is not about starving yourself. This is not about extreme workouts. This is not about supplements you don't need. This is about creating an internal environment where your body finally feels safe enough to burn fat, especially visceral fat. Let's start with the most important truth. Your body does not burn fat when it feels threatened. Stress tells your brain that food might be scarce, danger might be coming, and survival matters more than aesthetics. Cortisol is released to keep you alert, focused, and ready. But when cortisol stays high for weeks, months, or years, it signals your body to store fat right around your organs because that fat is quick energy. That's why stress belly exists. It's not imaginary, it's biological. Now think about your daily life. You wake up and the first thing you do is check your phone. Notifications, bad news, messages, pressure, your cortisol spikes. Then you rush through the morning, skip breakfast or grab something processed, drink caffeine on an empty stomach, sit for hours, barely breathe deeply, worry about work, relationships, money, the future. Then you eat late at night, scroll again, sleep poorly, and repeat the cycle. Your body never gets a signal that it's safe. So the first thing we do in these 30 days is reduce unnecessary cortisol spikes. Not eliminate stress completely because that's impossible, but remove the constant artificial stress that keeps your body in fat storage mode. One of the fastest ways to lower cortisol is to stabilize blood sugar. Blood sugar crashes are interpreted as emergencies by your brain. When glucose drops too low, cortisol shoots up to raise it again. This is why skipping meals, eating refined sugar, or relying on caffeine creates a cycle of fat storage. So for the next 30 days, the goal is simple. Every meal should contain protein, healthy fats, and fiber. This combination slows digestion, stabilizes blood sugar, and keeps cortisol from spiking. Protein is especially important because it sends a powerful signal to your body that nutrients are available. It also reduces hunger hormones and prevents muscle loss while fat is being burned. Healthy fats like olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, eggs, and fatty fish calm the nervous system and support hormone production. Fiber from vegetables, berries, and whole foods feeds your gut bacteria, which play a huge role in cortisol regulation. Now let's talk about the biggest visceral fat trigger in modern diets: refined sugar. Sugar doesn't just add calories, it damages mitochondria, increases inflammation, and creates insulin spikes that directly raise cortisol. And visceral fat loves insulin spikes. The more often insulin rises sharply, the more fat gets stored deep in the abdomen. This is why cutting sugar alone often leads to a flatter stomach within weeks, even without weight loss on the scale. But I want you to understand something important. Removing sugar is not about willpower. It's about replacing it correctly. When you eat enough protein and fats, cravings naturally decrease. Your brain stops screaming for quick energy because it finally has a stable fuel. Now let's talk about timing because when you eat matters just as much as what you eat when cortisol is involved. Eating late at night, especially heavy meals, disrupts your circadian rhythm. Your body wants to lower cortisol at night so melatonin can rise and repair can happen. Late eating keeps cortisol elevated, ruins sleep, and increases visceral fat storage. That's why one of the simplest rules for the next 30 days is to finish your last meal at least 3 hours before bed. This alone can dramatically reduce belly fat. People are often shocked how fast their waist measurement changes when sleep improves. Sleep is not passive, Sleep is when your body actively burns visceral fat, repairs insulin sensitivity, and resets cortisol. If sleep is poor, fat loss is nearly impossible. Now let's address exercise because this is where many people make things worse without realizing it. More is not better when cortisol is high. Long, intense cardio sessions, especially combined with calorie restriction, spike cortisol even higher. Your body interprets this as stress on top of stress. That doesn't mean exercise is bad. It means the type of exercise matters. For the next 30 days, strength training should be your foundation. Short, controlled resistance workouts signal your body to build muscle, increase insulin sensitivity, and lower baseline cortisol over time. Muscle is metabolically protective. The more muscle you have, the better your body handles stress and blood sugar. Walking is also incredibly powerful. Daily walking, especially outdoors, lowers cortisol, improves digestion, and encourages fat burning without stressing the nervous system. Even 20 to 30 minutes a day can make a massive difference. This is why some of the leanest populations walk regularly instead of doing intense cardio. Breathing is another underrated tool. Shallow breathing keeps your body in fight or flight mode. Slow, deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which tells your body it's safe. Just a few minutes of deep breathing per day can lower cortisol and improve fat loss. This is not spiritual, it's physiological. Now let's talk about inflammation because visceral fat and inflammation feed each other. Visceral fat releases inflammatory compounds that further raise cortisol. So we have to break the cycle. This means focusing on anti-inflammatory foods like leafy greens, berries, fatty fish, olive oil, turmeric, ginger, and fermented foods. These foods reduce oxidative stress and improve hormone signaling. Alcohol deserves special mention here. Alcohol directly increases cortisol, disrupts sleep, and promotes visceral fat storage. Even small amounts can slow fat loss significantly. If your goal is to drop visceral fat in 30 days, alcohol needs to be minimized or removed completely. This is not forever, it's a strategic reset. Now, here's something most people ignore. Emotional stress matters just as much as physical stress. Toxic relationships, constant negativity, overconsumption of bad news, and self-criticism all keep cortisol elevated. Your body does not distinguish between emotional and physical threats. Stress is stress, so part of this 30-day process is consciously reducing exposure to things that drain you. This doesn't mean isolating yourself, it means setting boundaries, choosing calm over chaos, protecting your mental energy. Even small changes here can have a huge impact on visceral fat. Now let's talk about consistency because this is where results compound. The body responds quickly when stress is reduced and signals of safety are consistent. Within the first week, many people notice less bloating. Within 2 weeks, waist measurements start changing. By the end of 30 days, visceral fat begins shrinking significantly, even if total body weight doesn't change dramatically. And that's an important point. The scale is not the best indicator of visceral fat loss. Your waist circumference, how your clothes fit, your energy levels, your digestion, and your sleep quality tell a much more accurate story. This process is not about perfection, it's about alignment, aligning your diet, movement, sleep, and stress management with how your biology actually works. When cortisol drops, your body stops fighting you. Fat loss becomes easier, hunger becomes manageable, energy stabilizes. And here's the most powerful part. Once visceral fat decreases, insulin sensitivity improves. When insulin sensitivity improves, cortisol drops even further. It's a positive cycle, the opposite of the vicious cycle most people are stuck in. So if you've been blaming yourself, thinking you lack discipline, thinking your metabolism is broken, let me say this clearly. Your body is not broken. It's responding exactly as it should to chronic stress. And when you remove that stress, it responds just as powerfully in the other direction. Over the next 30 days, focus on nourishing your body, not punishing it. Eat real food, lift weights, walk daily, sleep deeply, breathe slowly, reduce sugar, finish meals earlier, protect your peace, and watch how your body changes when it finally feels safe. If this video helped you understand visceral fat in a new way, make sure you stay connected because what we're building here is not just fat loss, it's metabolic health, hormonal balance, and long-term energy. Your body wants to heal. You just have to give it the right signals. And remember this, fat loss is not about fighting your body. It's about working with it.